All right, after a couple of months, we're back. North Central Nfused. We have a lot to talk about today, but we actually had our first complaint about our podcast.
Is that why JD's not with us today?
Somebody emailed me and asked why they were missing the podcast. They was the last one really in November? Yes, it was. So this is February. It's end of February now. But we have a lot to talk about, and with us is our CEO and General Manager, Kevin Doddridge.
Hello.
And you have pledged your talents to the Oklahoma State, this is what it looks like to me. I'm sorry, it looks like signing day back here with this backdrop.
Taking my talents to Louisiana Tech.
Exactly. And then, of course, our
I got my Auburn pen.
our Director of Marketing and Business Development, Michael Bellapani.
Hi there.
Hey. So we have a lot to talk about today, so we're just going to get right into it. We are no longer North Central Electric Power Association. We are
North Central Electric Cooperative. We are. And we've always been a cooperative, but we just made a decision to incorporate it into our name and kick that off with a big event that you and Mike were very instrumental in pulling off recently.
Well, yeah, it was a good day yesterday. We, as a matter of fact, gathered all of our employees and board of directors yesterday, February 20th, 2020, which happens to be the same month as our 70th anniversary as North Central Electric Cooperative.
February 3rd, 1950.
That's
when
right.
we opened.
So to kick that 70th year off, we announced that we are changing our name and changing our logo and rebranding, as you can see behind us, to North Central Electric Cooperative. We appreciate the guidance of the Godwin Group in Jackson and those that have kept very many secrets for several months to pull this off. But it was an exciting day in the history of our cooperative. Our employees gathered and very receptive to the brand that was out there, and we're excited to be able to go out into the community to serve our communities with the true identity of a cooperative out front and foremost. So.
And you're actually wearing one of the new vests
Yes,
with our new logo on it.
Absolutely. We're effective Monday. I know you will see, and I know today you'll see that some of our line workers out in the field wearing their new North Central Electric Cooperative FR gear. We're in the process of putting decals on trucks and changing letterhead, and my stars, we've got everything down to transformer stickers that we're changing out. So be patient with us, but we're
Emery boards for your fingernails.
Emery boards.
Change those things out. Just sewing kits. Everything that we've got that has a old North Central Electric Power.
So yeah, the stuff that we've been handing out at events and school fairs and everything else, that's going to be changing. So
that's right. But we're proud of the logo. We're proud of the brand that it puts out there, and there's some symbolism behind it. I mean, we had some brand equity with the name North Central. If you ask someone who your electric power is with, they say North Central. They don't say North Central Electric Power Association. Some of them say NEPA, but we're going to try and get away from that.
Every time I see that in my social media schedule, it's I type that out. I don't need to, but it's North Central Electric Cooperative. And with the name change comes some changes in social media. So we've been promoting social media for years now, but if you want to find us on Facebook, you can just search for North Central Electric Cooperative, but if you want to go directly to it, it's North Central EC. On Twitter, it's North Central _EC. On Instagram as well, YouTube, LinkedIn. I changed everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
But you do not have to do anything. If you currently follow us, all that will be pretty seamless. You'll still get our messages. You'll still get our post in your timeline. But be more active and like and follow and share, because that keeps things at the top of most people's timelines. We also last night flipped over at 9 p.m. to our new website, which is northcentralelectric.com. Better reflects what we do. NorthCentralEPA.com, if you have that bookmarked, will still port over to the new website for some time.
For a little while.
But if you would change those bookmarks over time, our payment portals and things like that have not changed. We're going to try and do all that as seamless as possible so you can still manage your account, pay your bill without any wholesale changes.
And we actually have a new little look to the website as well. The folks over at Hensley Imaging or Pixels and Pizzas, they call themselves now.
That's right.
So, because he also runs a Papa John's out there, and so he's got his website design and pizza. So he's Pixels and Pizza now.
But we couldn't have done this without great partners like Michael Hensley and Pixels and Pizza, as well as the Guywan Group. And all those that contributed to pulling this event off, pulling the rebrand off. And I tell you, folks, this isn't something that we kind of planned hastily. We started out in a strategic plan, 2017,
well, it was
2016?
Probably came to the forefront after we did some surveying and some polling.
Yeah, if you'll remember.
And we determined that a lot of people had great loyalty with North Central, but they did not realize that we were an electric cooperative. So we were curious, do you kick that dog, so to speak? If you got great loyalty and great numbers and exceeding expectations, why do you change something? But a concern that we have, especially in Mississippi, with all the cooperatives being called electric power associations, and we actually changed the law, I think it was 2016, where we could call ourselves an electric cooperative. Up until then, we had to call ourselves an electric power association. But we think that it's necessary that our members, our current members and our incoming members, know that we're cooperative. They need to know that there are governance issues that they can participate in, that they have a director that is local, that they vote on, that they can run for our board. They can attend our board meetings, that they have a direct role in how their member-owned cooperative is run. And we were trying to determine the best way to convey that message, and kind of low-hanging fruit and kind of a gotcha moment was, well, maybe we should put it in our name to where it's out there in front of them all the time.
Yeah.
And that helps because we have got what I refer to as a pretty transient membership. We may add 50 new members a month, but to add those 50, we probably have 300 come in and 250 leave. And a lot of these people are from out of the area, but a lot of them have been served by an electric co-op from where they came from. And they don't realize that when they move to our area. So we think that that's a great way for the new member coming in to realize that we're cooperative, and they may have had good experiences with the previous one.
Yeah, while we're involved in the community and community investment with the things that we do here, our service territory is fairly metropolitan as compared to most places. So those folks that are moving from the Midwest may have a co-op experience that's totally different from what they'll experience down here. The co-op drives the community in some of these smaller towns and supports of county fairs and church activities and a lot of things that do with the day-to-day quality of life that people realize. And here being more metropolitan, we're involved, but we're not as deeply involved on the ground as those folks are used to.
But there's potential for that because, and Michael and I have had this conversation before, we've got a lot of organizations, we'll just say particular school systems, for example, they really don't realize they can approach us for the assistance. Some do, and we're glad they do, and I'm glad to assist, but some just don't realize that we are that local to where we can make local decisions on participation. The local ownership, management, and governance is really a big thing. This is not a circumstance to where if you have a question of us or a request, we say we have to push it to Jackson or New Orleans or Atlanta. It stays right here, and that is makes us a lot more flexible and a lot more easy to deal with, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. The cooperative business model, we try and communicate that, through co-op month in October, through this podcast, and really try and get folks to understand that, because I know just given the geography of where we are, most folks are served by either a municipal utility or an investor-owned utility, and just keeping that message out there and the difference in the co-op business model and why we feel like it's the best business model is important.
Yeah. So along with this name change, and if you were talking more about how to get involved with the cooperative, you can actually find all that information. I want to plug the website one more time, northcentralelectric.com. Click on cooperative. There is all kinds of information about who serves you as on the board of directors and and more about being a part of a cooperative. So we would love for you guys to be more involved and have more of our members ask questions. And if all else fails, send us an email, give us a call, and ask. We'll be glad to talk to you.
Yeah. Be on the lookout also for our Today in Mississippi issue coming out in March. It's our annual board profile issue. So you'll get to see actually by view of a map who represents you and the education requirements, the certifications that those board members work hard to achieve. So be on the lookout. If you have any questions, we're always open. Just email us at podcast@northcentralelectric.com. That's a new email address, podcast@northcentralelectric.com. And just for safety's sake, over the next couple of weeks as we transition, just copy us up at podcast@northcentralepa.com as well.
But that will go away eventually. But
Yes.
northcentralelectric.com is what you need to keep in mind. So, all right, we were ready to talk about the big deal here?
The other thing?
The other thing?
Yeah, let's talk about the other thing.
What is the other thing?
Well, you'll notice there's a couple of words that you
the other
haven't
thing.
seen on this backdrop that are kind of new to our members. That one.
That one right there.
There's some degree of continuity in those two, but there is one thing that's different.
Yep.
What is that, Kevin?
The little C.
The suspense is killing us.
Well, as I like to tell people, the best place to start is at the beginning. Electric cooperatives, a lot based on the dynamics of the distribution system. We're not as urban as most municipal or investor-owned utilities, and system automation is very important if you are able to afford it. System automation basically means that if you're in an atmosphere to where you've got 10 meters per mile of line, it's difficult to roll people out to visually inspect, close in circuits, do a lot of things to troubleshoot. So co-ops have always had a vested interest in running fiber so they could work on system automation and try to make that rural system from an operational standpoint more compact. We started talking about fiber optic cable as long ago as 1998, looking at the feasibility and the utilization of it, the future need for it. Really didn't take any activity back then, but as time went along, we decided that it was really important that we need to link our substations with our main office using fiber, and that assists us in so many different ways, more than I could even go through. But it allows us to monitor the substations, monitor the voltage on the system, perform switching operations that normally would have taken someone to go all the way to the substation, which in our case at the moment could be 20 or 30 minutes to get there. In the future could be as much as 45 or more. We can do that automatically. As the system sophisticates, we'll be able to do more in-line switching, voltage monitoring to the home as we build fiber out. We already do automated meter reading, but the reliability could be greatly improved if we had fiber to the home. Also, our communication system just internally at North Central would benefit from fiber optics. So several years ago, we made the decision to install roughly 75 miles of fiber overhead for utility purposes. Now, as people saw the fiber going up, and as some of us who live in rural areas, or some of us that live in what I call non-incorporated urban areas, had poor internet connection. We did not have true high-speed internet. Most of us had DSL and didn't have an opportunity for anything high speed. But as we were stringing this fiber, everybody started to see an opportunity to utilize that fiber to potentially get high-speed internet to the home. So we started studying this, and it started out as a challenge, and it's going to end as a challenge. But we made the decision that we need to peel more layers of the onion back, see if this was feasible. So we did 2 feasibility studies that basically told us just that. It's feasible. You can pull it off. But we had a law that was in the way. And much like occurred in this area back in the late 1940s when people came together and said, we need reliable electric power, people started coming together throughout the state saying, we need high-speed internet. I just gave you the utility reasons. Now, high-speed internet, once again, I can't tell you everything that it can do because it can do so many different things. But when you start looking at the small businessman that's having a difficult time running a credit card reader, and even when he does, he's having to use a network that's costing him hundreds or even $1,000 or more a month to take advantage of that. If you look at children that are doing homework online, college students where virtually everything they do is online, community colleges and universities that like to offer courses online,
agriculture.
Yeah. Shocked a year or so ago when I heard of a dairy farmer that was coordinating the milking and feeding of the dairy cows using his iPad, GPSing, for the row crop farmers. And I could just go on and on and on. I hadn't even gotten into the entertainment side of things and just basic communication. So, and that's another component of high-speed internet, is educating people everything they can do. When electric power first came to this area, there were a lot of people that said, well, a light bulb would be nice. But they didn't understand, and back then you had so many dairy farms, they started to learn refrigeration for the dairy. They started to learn automation of the farming process, electric milking. They learned the farmhouse, which was just an extension of the farm, their automated processes. And if nothing else, washing clothes, being able to prepare a meal and store that food till the next day. And then from a healthcare standpoint, being able to use refrigerated medicine and store stuff so vaccines could be delivered easier. So you can go on and on and on the need. And like most things, if you identify the need now, just let your imagination go wild on what the utilization of high-speed internet and fiber will be in the next 10 years. So long story short, we decided there was definitely a need, and we got the law passed. The people pushed it up to the legislature. A bill was written, passed in record time, allowing us to get into the business.
That's about a year ago this month, I believe.
Roughly, yeah, signed this month. With some pushback from the people that are currently in the business, and they're protecting their interests, much like the investor-owned utilities did back in the 30s and 40s. But a lot of us have looked at this, and a lot of us, to do this, and you have to remember, and you've probably heard this in previous podcasts, so I won't go into great detail, but for Northcentral Electric Cooperative to provide high-speed internet to our membership, we have to set up another company, an affiliate. We can't risk electric ratepayers or electric members' money on this venture. We have to draw a line there, and that's best. That's really best. You've got a regulated entity in the cooperative, and then a non-regulated telecom. So we've done that. So you see the Northcentral Connect, with the thought that this is helping communities connect and communities connect to the postmodern world through high-speed internet. We thought that was a good name for the company. So most people are out there saying right now, okay, get on with it. Tell me, when can I get internet? And the best answer I have is, I don't know, but we will. As with most things, when we ran feasibility studies, and I will be quite upfront with you on the cost of this, the first studies to build out our entire system, and that's all 33,000 meters that we have. That was estimated to be somewhere between $80 and $90 million. Now, Northcentral has a distribution plant now that exceeds 180, but we built that out over 70 years. The 80, 90, we don't want to build it out over 70, but it would still be over a certain amount of time. Now that we're getting into real budgeting, real engineering, we're not shocked that those costs are starting to escalate. You're having price pressures put on the fiber material, on the labor. And if we're going to attach this fiber to our poles, some of these poles, just due to the nature of the pole, the nature of the components of the pole, other people attached to it for telecommunications, we have to do what we call make-ready cost, and we have to change that pole out and make it to where it can accommodate that fiber. Or we make the decision to where we don't do that and we just start putting more underground. But either which way you look at it, the costs have gone up. So we're looking at those costs. We're trying to determine some soft spots. We're not going to really get into devaluing the product or putting something up that isn't reliable. We want to put up somewhat close to a Cadillac system. But we're looking at a phased approach. We've currently identified several places where we're going to start our continued build out. And you'll probably start hearing from us in some areas within the next several months. The members being told, fiber's coming to your area. Are you interested in this high-speed internet company? So that information will be flowing out. If things go as planned, which they don't always, but if things go as planned, we could have high-speed internet customers middle of the summer. And based on the success there, we'll probably determine how quick we build the rest of the system out.
Yeah, it's important that folks realize that you know, a lot of work's been put into this, and we've studied it, and we've had consultants help us out with this, and we've actually hired a company called Vantage Point Solutions out of South Dakota that's helping us with this build out consultation and also design. You'll see some of their folks in the field. We've actually got them starting right now doing some pole inspections, doing some inventory, GPS marking. And what these folks do is they go out there and actually identify what's on the pole and make a determination on how, I guess, how well that pole will stand with that fiber on it. So we're in the field. The wheels are turning, and to kind of go along what Kevin said, we're targeting to hit some activity in the summertime.
And since we are getting closer to that, I know we talked about this before as well. I think we need to kind of give some of those disclaimers again. Is that the Connect will not make your electrical rates go up?
Right. There is when we passed the law, the law got fairly specific in some of these areas. And we're regulated too. TVA has a regulatory arm that looks at what we do, especially as far as use of revenues. So, right, if you're a member of North Central Electric Cooperative, you do not have to subscribe to our service. We wish you would. But you do not have to. We cannot provide an incentive to do that. We can't provide any deterrent on the cooperative side either. If you, for whatever reason, had a difficult time paying your high-speed internet bill, that does not affect your utility bill. So the awkward way to put it is we're not going to turn your power off if you don't pay your internet bill. Completely two separate entities. You may see the billing go on the same statement or something along those lines, but the best way to describe it would be, if anyone's familiar with multiple functional type utilities like a Memphis Light, gas and water, Holly Springs, which provides electricity and natural gas. New Albany does the same thing. It comes under the same umbrella, but if you're Memphis Light, gas, and water, you have three distinct separate entities as far as accounting and revenue, and those revenues cannot be shared.
Yep. And so we're a few steps closer. And that's what people need to understand.
We are.
We're not there yet, but we are closer and closer. We're working on. This is a big project.
And since we're going to want people that subscribe to our service, we're going to keep you over-informed over the next several months.
You might get tired of saying the same stuff over.
That's right. We constantly get messages, and I know Justin, you and I both get our messages and comments through social media. We're the ones that see them when they come through at 10:15 at night, 10:20 at night. Asking questions about broadband, and if we don't get right back to you that evening, it's because it's too long of an answer. And we want to let folks know that the ball is rolling, and there will be some type of mechanism for us to gather information on your desire to take our service, and that's coming very soon. So we hear you. We understand that there are a lot of people eager, and we're trying to accommodate that. So.
So
we hope there's lots.
Well, there are. Yeah. I know. I know personally. But yeah, we're working as hard as we can to get this going. But that's why we did the big reveal yesterday. And actually, if you're watching us on the video podcast, you will see some of the footage that we showed yesterday, and you'll see that more on social media. And you'll see a print ad in Today in Mississippi, and we have a new billboard coming up, and you're gonna get to see a lot of the new look of North Central. And so we'll be reminding you. I got my Twitter schedule right here. So we're having all kinds of information coming out.
That's right. It's a true media campaign, which is something we probably have never done in the history of North Central. Is we've got a 6-week window where we're really hitting all media channels to let folks know of the change. We're still the same co-op. It's just a new day for us and a new name and a new look.
And if you subscribe to the DeSoto Times Tribune, they kind of told you about it as well. Yeah, they had our press release pretty quick.
That's great.
Put it on their website.
So the name's changing. You'll see the logos changing. We're still the same folks, and be patient with us as we switch out those logos and those name changes, and then pretty soon you'll start seeing the other new logo, which is North Central Connect, out in the field.
As I remind people, they were both people and community driven. The electric cooperative that came up from people who identified a need. It wasn't that we need electricity, but there was a why behind that, everything they could do with it. And that's the same way with high-speed internet. It was driven by the people. It was a grassroots effort, and that's what keeps North Central consistent, is that we listen to our members, and those grassroots efforts, if they're pushed up to us, we're helpful in providing solutions.
Yeah, grassroots efforts is exactly what we're going to try and do. And that's, folks may ask what's next. Yeah, we're going to continue to study this, and we're doing our due diligence on the engineering and operations side, the marketing side, and all that. But we're really going to get back to the grassroots of it. So what y'all can expect over the summer is this is our 70th anniversary. So North Central is going to be celebrating.
I'm not 70.
You're not 70, but North Central is 70. We won't disclose how old you are.
But he's got some new parts.
That's right. That's right.
We better expand on that. It's a knee. I want to leave that hanging out there. It's been since November, right? You said the last podcast.
It's been since November. Yeah, that's right. You had your knee surgery, right. But so you take the part of the age of the knee divided by your actual age, and that's your new age. So how about that?
I'll work on that.
I'll work on that. But yeah, this summer, what we hope to do this summer, as the weather breaks, we're going to celebrate that 70th anniversary. We're going to start gathering and being out there among our membership. We're looking at putting on, and I won't say town hall type meetings, because in an election season, that just kind of turns me off. But it'll be more of a community celebration.
Yeah.
In different locations, different venues. We're going to meet you where you are. We've already spoken with local coffee houses, restaurants, and even the Mississippi Ale House, and there may be some different events that we get popped up throughout the summer, spring, and on into fall to listen to you, to maybe pre-enroll.
Flash mob type events.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what we need.
So, when we
Justin
announce
is
those,
thinking now.
as we announce those, y'all come out and see us, and I'm sure we'll have free gifts and more information to share with you, but those are in the works as well.
And okay, so we're going to be wrapping up things here in a little bit, but to make up for missing podcasts, we will be recording a special edition of our podcast next week in Jackson, Mississippi, as we take our 2020 Youth Tour participants.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're actually looking forward to it. We're going to interview Ron and Alyssa from ECM. Those are the ones who kind of helped put this whole thing together for the Youth Tour, and we'll interview a few of our North Central area participants. Yeah. So we're going to have some the high school leadership workshop that they have down there, and me and Michael and a few other people are going down there, and it's a great experience for them if you want to give a little bit more about it.
Yeah, for those that don't know, and we've done this for, I believe, 34 years statewide now, and as part of the national NRECA Youth Tour program, but the state of Mississippi convenes in Jackson for a 3-day youth leadership workshop. With high school juniors from across the state, North Central has 15 fine representatives this year, 15. And if you look at the sheer head count in our schools, that's a small representation of what we serve. But we're actually going on the road next week to Jackson to this workshop, and we'll kind of give you all a taste of what these kids experience. It's an exciting time for them. They'll get to see their state government at work, and network with roughly 85 students from across the state, and hopefully return home with a different perspective on their state. That's our goal. Is we want to keep these kids here. We want to get them in leadership positions here, and we want to build bonds with them for other students that will last them a lifetime.
All right, so we will be posting that probably in a couple weeks, but because we're there from Wednesday through Friday, and so we'll have that when we get back. But thank you for tuning in to North Central Electric Cooperative's Nfused podcast. NorthCentralElectric.com. If you have any suggestions or questions for us to read on this podcast at NorthCentralElectric.com.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The year 1937. 9 out of 10 rural homes still had no electricity. Change was needed, so a law was passed enabling states to form and operate not-for-profit, member-owned electric cooperatives. North Central Mississippi Electric Power Association was born on February 3, 1950, to bring power to this region, and quickly got up to speed. We were founded with the mission of making sure that anyone in our area who wanted electric power would receive it, and at the lowest possible cost. Lives and communities were literally changed overnight, and we've been working to change lives ever since. Through the years, North Central has become a trusted member of the community, offering leadership and educational support while advocating for affordable energy. Together, we've built a reputation for being responsible and reliable, grounded in integrity and proud to serve our members and communities. Every day, we work to fulfill our promises to our members, to promote a culture of safety throughout the workplace and community, to build a network that offers options and opportunity, to deliver on our commitment to excellence as the area grows, and above all, to foster personal relationships with members and improve the quality of life for all who live here. As a member-owned cooperative, we are continually looking for ways to enhance worldwide connectivity, offering proactive solutions for new services while maintaining the highest standards of reliability. Today, North Central stands as an innovative leader among electric service providers in Mississippi. By putting members first and always focusing on their needs, we will provide greater service options and connectivity to a growing number of households and businesses. We embrace the future and the challenges and opportunities it will bring. But as we change and adapt for the future, with a strong brand and bold new look, we will never forget where we came from, who we serve, or why we're here.